I heard somebody bring up, what if we got Yoji in this set? Because in the lore, Emperor's dead. What's Yoji doing these days?
It's true.
Goes out to
Would
the
fit
arena
the
and just
lore,
starts fucking
kinda like
slaying out people.
Just pissed.
Yeah.
He failed. He failed as master.
He's got no reason to be anywhere
Oh,
else. So he
poor
just
guy.
wandered out into the
Wants
heavy
to go
hitter.
murder people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
If he is in this set as like a CC hero, they better give him a badass name like Yoji the Unbroken or
I
something.
mean, he already
like that.
Yoji the Broken. He would be because he doesn't have his master anymore. So he would be Broken, Cliff.
Yeah, he failed.
No,
he, let,
unbroken.
he let little ass
He lost his
Arachne
master,
get in
but he's
there.
still
He's
trying.
not the
Like,
royal
he's
protector anymore. He's Yoji the Broken.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 17 of Big Deck Energy. I'm one of your hosts, Datakin Skywalker himself. Joined here today with Josh Lucian and Ben Clifford. Bailey could not make it. I believe he maybe had to work. But today we're going to get into, it's going to be kind of a casual episode, not much news on the horizon. We got a few little tidbits to go over. But let's start off with what you guys did in Fab this week.
Cliff, you do anything?
Who, me?
Oh, you talking to me? Well, suppose we'll just go into it. I didn't really get a whole lot done for Fab this week. A lot of it was just theory crafting for me. Different stuff I want to try out. I didn't mention it on the last episode, I think, but the last armory I went to, Wes was able to nab me another cold foil symbiosis shot, so I'm probably gonna start playing around with a -IO list here coming up quick, and I'm gonna continue to keep my little pet project for a blitzed Adadol going on the back burner.
There you go.
Nice. Did you
There
make
you go.
any improvements
That-
after the last armory you went to?
There's a couple of things I want to play around with, but for the most part, I think the deck's doing pretty good. I do kind of want to go back to what I was doing when I first started doing mechs and throw Toma Fendal back in. Toma Fendal just looks extremely viable in -IO. I'm unsure how viable it is in Datadol, but I mean, fuck it, we ball, right?
Yeah, you definitely do that with your deck choice for sure.
I love it.
So we'll see how she goes.
I love it. Well,
I'm missing my mech tome, so I guess we have to make do with a Toma Fendal.
well, Wes is back up there, so now you get your playtest partner back.
Yes, I will. Shout out to Garrett for putting this on my radar. One of the big things that I've been trying to figure out for Datadol is there a way I'd be able to use any of the new like mech equipment or Evos? And I didn't really see anything that was like catching my eye until Garrett mentioned the adaptive plating.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say.
Where-
The plating looks kind of...
Yeah,
Good.
you just pop it onto your hand slot, because right now I'm just using either the gloves for a 1 Battleborn or a Goliath.
Oh, yeah, gross. Those are both kind of like
And-
whatever choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would much rather have the 3 block, because
Mhm.
it's a 1 block, and then if like it, because all of like the boom grenades, if I crank it, it stays till the next turn, but then at the start of my turn it gets scanned for a steam counter and it'll go away anyways. So if I can then just block with adaptive plating and then destroy that boom grenade, that turns the 1 block into a 3 block due to galvanize.
Pretty sweet.
I've always been wondering, like, if a -IO could honestly pull off, since they don't really have a good arm slot other than adaptive plating we've seen recently. Like, can Evos actually be viable in the arm slot in a dash deck? If you're gaining action points, you're able to play out the Evos and still have your turn.
Yeah. I guess I haven't ever thought about that.
So there's ways around it, but at the same time,
I guess it just like depends on your game plan. Like if you're trying to block, then maybe there is an Evo
You do
dash
that.
list that you can build for sure. That's like a tree frog, but you're like playing Evos, you know? Be fucking actually kind of cool.
yeah, no, that if you're running like the Evo Steel Souls, where it's just everything's a 3 block and you get temper, and you run 3 of them in the deck, and that's all you have. That's an extra 9 block if you're able to get them all out.
Yeah, dude, there's actually probably something there. That's a good idea for a deck.
And especially if the arm ability is good enough
versions.
to be able to like put on top, you're just getting extra benefits in your turn. So I don't know, Cliff, you should try that out. I was almost thinking like if that's viable or not.
I think the Evos for pretty much everyone but Teklo are a trap. I'm gonna be honest.
Really, even the instants.
I do. I do.
Fair. All right, well
Because
then I'll
Dash
try
and
that.
Max, your
you
game
try
plan
Dash.
is just all gas. I don't think adding in another card that could potentially replace an attack in your hand is not a great idea.
That's
yeah,
true.
that was my initial thought with like if you're like a normal dash deck, you probably don't play them. But if you're trying to block and you kind of
Not fatigue, like not really playing the fatigue game plan as much. Just doing your whatever you can.
yeah. What did you do, Josh?
Well, I went on a wild ride, one may say, this weekend at my LGS. We played in our armory, and I played KO for a Blitz event.
It was a Blitz Armory this weekend.
Rolled Scabskins, I think a total of like 5 times. Rolled 1, 3 out of the 5. When I attacked, I rolled a 2 about every time. So it was halved. I think I rolled a 5
I feel like
or
every
6.
time I look over at
I was
you
just getting
rolling,
boned.
you were like intimidate, pump, attack, roll, shit. Coming in for 6?
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story of KO. Not much more I can say. He's
Yeah.
either rolling hot or he's rolling not.
Rolling. And yeah, this
was
one was rolling
rolling
9 for you.
But
that's funny.
Still had fun. It's a meme deck almost. So I literally just went to go have some fun, play with all the boys. We got to see Dylan down there for the first time.
Yeah,
Got
one
to
of our
play
locals
him.
came back after a few months.
Yep, just had his kid, so it was good to see you, Dylan. Always a pleasure to play games against you and see you. I mean, kicked my butt. So
Yeah. No, he beat me too.
that machine gun kitty Benji.
I have to convince him to play Mask of Momentum. I don't know why the Mask of Many Faces is in there. There's like some cute things you can do with it, but the value that Mask every time that
turn.
he hit me on the 3rd chain, I looked at his board and I go, "Oh, he doesn't have Mask." Yes.
Yep.
He doesn't have Mask. Yes. Like I was in that game because he didn't have Mask.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I was dead turns
Otherwise,
before that if he
Just
runs
drawing
the
that
Mask.
one extra card.
Well, you can force
MG
it
with
too.
Mask
Yeah.
is scary.
Well,
No,
also when he attacks with the Crouching Tigers for 0, and they still hit.
No, they
because-
don't hit for 0. You have to pump them.
Oh, you do.
If an attack is unblocked and it deals 0 damage, it is not considered a hit.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, most of those they need to have that physical hit in order to have their on-hit effects register. If it's an on-hit from the card
Which
or
makes
one
sense.
that you've applied to it.
yeah.
Which makes sense.
Like sometimes he was like playing the Art of War and then not pumping because he didn't want to like put the breakpoints at 3 on his spring tidings and stuff, and I like understand that, but like the +1 on those crouchings and all of the 1 attacks that he does have is like
Incredible.
and with the mask too, like
Disgusting.
I mean, I should have been dead turns before that.
Yeah.
But he still, I mean, I played Chayana. What was your record, by the way, before we move?
Oh, 1-3.
Nice. We played 4 rounds.
1-3.
Yeah. I went 2-2 with Chayana.
Okay.
Last round won against Dylan in that game. And lost against Tanner on Lexi. Lexi I took 19 damage on turn 1. It was really stupid of me too. He correctly chose for me to go first. Drew up, had a CNC and a blue and some other crap. And whenever you have that CNC on turn 1 against Lexi, you always just pass priority.
Yep.
I played out like my showtime or some shit. And then he's like, "Oh, double load arrows." I'm like, fuck. I look at my pitch zone, there's a CNC right there, and I'm like,
Yep.
what did I just do?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, if you have the CNC, you pass priority with an action point.
You did not.
I swear to
pick a
God I did that.
CNC against Alexi. You did
I
not.
swear to God.
There's no way.
Dude, exactly. I don't know how it happened because that's like my little like sneaky thing. I mean, it's not mine. Everyone knows you can do that.
Yep.
It's the passing with the action point.
Yeah.
If you pass priority with an action point and then they start to do stuff, you actually retain that action point and gain priority again. And a lot of people
really?
coming from Magic. Yeah, I know. In Magic, when you go to your end step and you say, I move to my end step, and then your opponent does instance or something, you are still in your end step or at the beginning of it. You don't go back to your main phase to then play cards.
Yep.
In Flesh and Blood, if you have an action point and you just say, I'll pass priority, trying to move to your arsenal, and then they play an instant, they do something, they do an effect, you then gain priority after that stack resolves.
Oh, shit.
And then if you still have an action point when you have priority,
You get to do it.
you can attack, which, I've gotten plenty of Lexis where they'll double load when I have an action point, and then I just retain it. I play the CNC. They kind of pick it up and go, are you sure? You can, yeah, you can.
100%
I had an
positive.
action point. I passed with an action point.
It works the same way as the reaction. It's both players have to pass priority in order for the actual
simultaneously
phase to end.
Yep. So yeah, got 19 on his turn one. Yeah. And took it all because I had a crippling crush with a pummel. So I went to 1, and then I Goliath Gauntlets, crippling crush into red pummel.
Oh, damn.
He knew I had the pummel. It was pretty evident because I kept my whole hand on his last turn, and then so he just blocked with his full hand. He took 4 damage,
Oh,
and then went to his turn, passed to me. I drew up some garbage like you do in Shiana.
yep. And then you're just toast.
I think I just naked attacked with Pursuit of Knowledge it. He's just take it, and then I just died from there.
Yep. Well, I mean, you got the 5 intellect, though.
Yeah, you're right. Oh shit!
That's a one up.
The Shiana deck is so much fun to pilot, but the deck really struggles with consistency issues, or just the way I have it built. It's a lot different than I think a lot of people play Shiana, but
Probably.
I mean it's basically just a Guardian deck. Most Shianas are Guardian decks where you play the Cripplings, you play the Endless Winters. It's like a pummel deck.
No alpha rampages.
You're still
Cards
using
bad.
Tackle Core,
So
right?
Cards bad.
Oh yeah, I get to play Tackle Core for sure. It's just like a fucking
Spark of Genius.
super
too,
good.
most of the
Well,
time.
yeah, that's a card I've cut and added and cut and added. But the Alpha Rampage in that deck, I learned quick was never good.
No.
It's hard to pummel because you have to discard. It's always conditional discard. The Intimidates you kind of don't care about.
You have to set the pummel up in your arsenal.
Yep. And then I mean,
No, but you know what Shiana can do now? She can run the fucking crown to get the gold token, and then run Kasai specializations.
oh yeah, she
Oh,
You
shit.
can you
She
can
gets to
create
create
some
people.
allies in Shiana.
yeah, dude. So it's funny, the joke always is Shiana gets support in every set, dude.
Yeah.
So every time that a set
Yep.
comes out, one of my heroes is getting support technically, and there's always kind of new fun, when we got already dead or
Low-key.
not already dead. What's the Azuri specialization?
Shakedown.
You get to use the new
Shakedown.
Yeah, but you also get to use the new one.
Oh, so the one that got spoiled. Oh, right. I didn't even think about that. It's a blue block 3/2.
Yes.
When
The
Riptides,
Arachne one?
yeah, the Arachne one.
Shh, Claire. Shh. We weren't supposed to say it yet.
No, it's fine. When the Riptide traps came out, everyone was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
these are so good!" And I was like, "Shiana, rejoice! I get to replace all these bad blues." Oh my god, it was so
Yeah,
cool.
no, I'm low key wanting to buy Shiana just so that I've got something else to fuck around with because it looks like so much fun.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, went 2 and 2. Had a lot of fun with Shiana. Small shout out to Carter. He played Melody.
Yeah.
He got to do the thing, the encore or what's the card? It's
can't remember. Yeah.
it's some singing
Song.
card
Yeah, it's a
that deals damage based on the amount of cards in your pitch zone or something. So you build up all this silver and copper. And before we actually started our tournament, he played one of our locals, Sean, and he did the combo where he's sacking all of his gold, all of his silver, all.
Yep.
And then he played it for 17 at the end. Sean said 4. So he got to do the thing,
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't think the deck worked for him very well. But it was fun to see him try something so underpowered and goofy and memey. You know,
It's good to see meme decks come out. I mean, he also didn't he get
our whole
OTK'd
shop was like
on
basically meme decks.
I know. Didn't he
You
get
were playing
OTK'd?
Kyle. Yeah. You, did. You were playing KO. I was playing Shiana. We had Melody. Like
even I mean, New Prism's not a meme deck, but
New Prism with old Luminaris is not a meme deck.
That was rough. Even as KO, I was just popping stuff and just still couldn't get it. And that was I played Zach, and he was like, "You're gonna get it this time. You're gonna roll." Of course, the first attack I did, I finally got a roll. I'm so pumped. Next one, it's for 3. It's like, fuck, man.
Well, the odds are not in your favor as KO.
No,
a lot of fun though.
It is. I enjoyed rolling dice, but why don't we get into the Battle Harden?
Sure.
There was a Battle Harden that happened over the weekend, and we had Iyslander taking it down. And now that Battle Hardens are 40 points, Iyslander is out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. Can we get a round of applause?
Well done, Iyslander.
We
Way to take it down.
No more ice to deal with at this point.
That's not true,
time.
dude. It's not true. Lexi is
Still in Blitz.
Who's got ice?
Lexi and Blitz.
Well, okay, that's a lot different though.
Actually, in Blitz, you
like
never
right?
build it.
I know. I know.
It's like so much better.
The most ice you run in Lexi is fucking ice.
I'm being cheeky. I'm just being an asshole.
Arctic incarceration. That's it. But we had Iyslander taking it down. Kevin Zanker. Congrats to you, buddy. He went through a Dromai in the finals, so he won that matchup, which is pretty good. That Dromai actually went through a Reinar in the top 8 as well.
I wonder what he did in that game.
It was a good matchup.
Yeah, I'm curious how the Dromai scraped through a Reinar, because Reinar normally just fucking demolishes Dromai.
And then the Iyslander went through another Iyslander in the semifinals to get to the Dromai, and then in the top 8 he fought a Katsu. So the full top 8 was 3 Iyslander, 1 Phi, 1 Dromai, 1 Reinar, and 2 Katsu. So we're starting to see a lot more representation of Katsu.
That's awesome. I mean, I think both ninjas are just very viable right now.
Yeah, with the current meta. Now that Ice is out too, so there's nothing hindering it other than Bravos.
I think Katsu's gets a... Well, I mean, they both do, but I know Katsu was a little less favored into Iyslander than Phi was. Mm-hmm. And now it's maybe, a little more of an open field for both of those decks to kind of run rampant. And Dromai's close to LL.
As well as Dash and Dash IO.
Yeah.
As well as, maybe even Max if you run Max as the...
Yeah, Max is a true aggro deck.
He is. I enjoy it.
That hero has top 8'd a few different bigger tournaments since, Bright Lights.
But I low key, I've got something cooking for Max.
Are you gonna do the construct plan? Please tell me you're gonna do that.
Well, that's gonna be the actual goal for the deck. But there's another sneaky thing that I've noticed that I really want to try to see if I can flush out. Because you guys know the card Moonshot, right?
Are you gonna share with the class?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, good. I was going to say, if you're not sharing with the class right now, this is a little absurd.
Yeah, Moonshot is I believe it's a double X, but the X isn't referring to hyperdriver. It's not referring to resource. It's referring to hyperdrivers.
Yep.
So for every 2 hyperdrivers you break, the attack will get +3. Starts out at 3 base, and then if it gets over 10 power, it gains overpower.
Yep.
So, the pipe dream is to utilize the new buff cards like the recharge and the gas up to drop 2 +4s on it right away, so that it brings it to 11 without breaking any hyperdrivers, and then pop a crap ton of the hyperdrivers you make to give it plus however much more. Try to get it up to at 19 with overpower.
Just a Guardian deck at that point.
Yeah, just do a big swing.
Max showstopper.
Would you then try to make the Hyper X3? I guess you can't because you need to be using your hyperdrivers to go into it.
I still think Hyper X3 is a trap.
That's fair.
As much as I want to like that card, I just can't.
That's fair. I wish it was a lot cooler. I mean, it's a sick art. I love the art. I love the extended art on it. I wish it was more viable, but just isn't. But I do want to see somebody in our group do like I know one Kellen was working on the construct plan for Max.
Yeah, I honestly think just doing the construct plan would be super fucking easy to set up for him.
Oh yeah, I feel like
Super easy.
most of those maxes that you see in the higher rankings at some of those top events, I'm pretty sure are the construct plan. Like they're going in with just getting their attacks and then doing 35 damage in a turn with their construct.
To be honest, I haven't looked at a single max list.
Really?
Well,
I haven't looked at too many. I think I've only looked at one.
Yeah.
But like most of the time they are construct plans.
Nice.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
I
most
still
extent.
think it's a damn shame that Max didn't get a specialization other than Banksy. It really is just a damn shame.
It is weird how
Makes
this
you wonder
set
why.
It is weird how this set only had 3 specializations. But at the same time they didn't want to specify cards like in your card pool, I guess, to I don't know. I really
There was
don't know.
4 specializations, Josh.
Huh?
There was 4 specializations, wasn't there?
It's singularity and then just the 2 weapons.
I thought Teklo had a specialization weapon, or was the
No.
The leveler can
The
use
leveler
use
is
any mech.
yeah, leveler is any mech.
okay? So what? Yeah, it was just the 3 then. Yeah, fuck them, man. Fuck. Max didn't get a specialization. No specialization for Dad at all. What are they playing over there? I'm gonna need to do something.
Actually, I mean, Datadol did get a specialization in Dynasty.
That's so weird. Yeah,
Wasn't it?
The database or what was it?
No, BIOS update was for everybody, but
No, that's not the card I'm thinking of. It's the item.
Microprocessor.
Microprocessor. I played that in
That might be
Cheyenne.
Everfest,
I played that
though.
in Cheyenne.
Did you?
I did. I caught it pretty quick.
It's not bad. I've seen Cliff go off with that
It's-
thing.
I would almost always
so
have a Teklo
It's
core
so
over it.
much better now.
So.
It's so much better now with the crank items. Just boost it, get a boom grenade in for free, and crank it. So now you got 2 action points. Activate processor twice because on the first activation it refunds your action point.
Not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, it's nuts. So then you can activate it all 3 times in one turn.
Yeah, that seems a lot better than what I was doing with it in Shiana.
Yeah, I've seen Cliff go off with that card a few times, and it's I don't know. I think Datadol honestly almost should have gotten a specialization out of Bright Lights, just as like a expansion slot card.
She should have gotten an attack. Although, like I was saying on the last episode, Twin Drive I think is actually fulfilling that role pretty well. Like I said, it works extremely well.
Dude, Twin Drive
One of
the
the games I won was because of that card. It was the last attack in the chain that I had, so just like I think it was 2 attacks before that because I'm back running 2 red hyperdrivers. Rolled into Teklo, got a boom grenade, played Twin Drive. The first boost revealed a Hadron Collider that came in with red, so +4. And then it activated on Twin Drive because since I banished it with the first boost, it scanned and saw the second boost off of that same attack action card.
Oh damn! So
And then the
Twin Drive
second
was
one,
coming in for 9.
I revealed another boom grenade. So there was a red and a yellow boom grenade. So Twin Drive was coming in for 9, threatening 15?
Yeah.
16. 9,
Yeah.
threatening 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
With
pretty
go
good.
again.
I watched Sean buy a box of Bright Lights, and that man ripped honestly a gas box.
Yeah, I did.
He ripped on the bottom 2 packs because we were looking for the foil, and we were
Bottom
trying to show Darlene because Darlene didn't believe us. So Sean grabs the bottom left pack, no foil. It was a twin
Sometimes
drive.
it happens,
It was a
though.
twin drive, and we were like, okay, that's bearable. Goes to the other one, rips it open, heist. I'm like, the fuck? Next one he rips a fucking maximum velocity. Nice. I'm like, Jesus Christ, guy, that's like $40, $50, $60 in cards just on those 3 packs you just ripped. Like, my God. And then he ripped I think a tunic too, and
Yeah, he got
other
a tunic.
things. He just traded for one, didn't he, too? And then he just ripped one.
So funny. He starts the tournament yesterday, or like against me. Him and I played a game, and he's like, "Can I take my tunic?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I forgot." I'm like, "Of course. Is this your first time?" He's like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Everybody does. Don't worry.
I'm like, "Bro, I
It's
just missed my
one-
tunic
it's just
twice
one
in
of
the
those
last game."
things, man.
It happens all the time, dude.
So
But-
funny. Made me think of all those memes. It's your first time.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah. Well,
go ahead, take that shit.
why don't we?
Oh, I
off
wanted
of-
to before we wrap up like the LL on the Icelander thing. Small shout out to Shane LL and
Shane?
Blit.
Shane.
Chain.
Oh.
Sorry, might have sounded like Chain LL in Blitz hit 500 points on the nuts. So thankfully, no one has to play against any craziness like that in Blitz.
Yeah. Do we have a lot of updates on any of the Living Legend lists for Blitz other than Chain hitting Living Legend?
No.
I mean, what were any other heroes pretty close?
I think the closest one is like probably Kasai or maybe Kano.
Kano's at 443.
Mm-hmm. So he's close.
Yeah. They don't have Chain. Oh, wait. Nope, Chain is. Never mind. They did update it.
But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about maybe just some thoughts on Icelander herself, just the deck itself, or maybe some memories you guys have, or just, good or bad. Probably more so bad. But I actually played that deck, so
I don't want to hear it.
No, I'll start. I went, so kind of my hero trajectory was started the game with Azalea. Monarch came out, went to Prism, played Prism heavily. Uprising came out. So actually it was the first time I started playing Icelander was in Everfest. This is before she even had a card pool.
Yep.
There was no Ice Wizard cards. So I had to play the shitty Ice cards out of Arsenal. And she was only Blitz legal. She was a Blitz hero at the time. We did not have a CC version of her. But I was able to top 8 2 skirmishes with that deck. And it was a crazy Frostfang pummel deck mixed in with some
I remember that.
arcane at the end, the blazing ethers and stuff. And I had to run like the Crucible of Aetherweave even. Like I didn't have Waning Moon and no Coronet Peak. And so I mean the deck was just ass, but like there was definitely something there. I remember playing Channel Lake Frigid at instant speed for the first time. Like, what? Just like a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, oh, there is something here, dude. But I remember kind of bringing that when we played Blitz a lot more than we do now. We actually played it, I think, more almost religiously for the first few months we started playing at the shop, and then we got Everfest in that time, so we were playing a lot of Blitz, and I was bringing Icelander a lot, and I remember a lot of people not liking that deck, and rightfully so. Ice is you look at it and it's definitely a negative mechanic in that it affects your opponent in a negative way. It literally will tax every card, tax your attacks. But I think without a heavy ice deck now, like the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit on like what you can play. What the question now becomes: what's the best defensive deck or the best option for those players that like to play the slow game and that kind of methodical pitch stack type of game?
I almost wish Bailey was here because he brought that same thing up. Like, now that my bay's gone, like, who do I play for control? Like, there's no true control hero in the game anymore.
Ice is out of the CC format.
Fully gone.
Which is crazy to think about.
It is. We've had
this happened way faster than we thought.
Such a long time.
It felt like just a few weeks ago we were talking about how like what's going to happen when this happens, and it's like we're already there.
Yeah, now we're there. Well, I mean, with the Living Legend changes too, that just
on Monday it'll be official.
It sped everything up.
The points you mean?
Yeah, the points wise. So.
And now on Monday it'll be official with this new thing they're doing every Monday
week,
is or is it Monday or Friday? I thought it was Mondays.
Monday.
Yeah, I think it was Monday.
Yeah.
Makes more sense if it's on Monday because then that'll give
that's
people
right
time
after,
for the during the week to
armory.
Pick their hero or make a deck. But yeah, I think my best memories was definitely the skirmishes before she had a pool, and then we got the card pool. and placed 5-2 at a Battle Harden. Minneapolis is Battle Harden with her. Lost to 2 Reinars that day, man. Just wrecked my day.
Intimidated your hand out.
I think I placed 11th in that one, so just bubbled.
Just barely.
But I mean, I played so damn well that day, and like was so hard on myself. I remember that was probably my lowest point in the Flesh and Blood game, was like, because like bubbling out is kind of my thing. I'm always like there. I'm always kind of playing for contention, and I'm like, oh, it could be. I'll wait and see to see if I squeak in there. I've never like X1'd. I've never, where you lock. Like I've never like locked top 8 ever. I'm always kind of bubbling in or out. But that one felt bad because I lost to 2 of my, probably my worst matchups. There was not many Reinars in the room. I know there was a little increase in Reinar play because of how popular Iyslander was at the time. So yeah, it's just I was probably at my lowest point competitively, I would say, after that. But it didn't make me like the deck less or anything. That deck it really did like rejuvenate kind of my interest in Fab. And I haven't played her for a long time because of I like to switch decks after I get fatigued out.
Well, that was right when she came into CC. That was right as Prism was kind of leaving the.
Yep. Actually, so yeah, that's she did get rotated out, so I had to pick a new deck anyways. And yeah, it was pretty clear that it was going to be, well, it was either her or Dromai. I loved the dragons. I mean, who doesn't?
Controlling dragons sounds dope as
dude,
shit.
I mean,
sounds so cool.
I almost went with Dromai, but then really just playing it in Blitz for those few months where it kind of felt like my own deck. Like I don't think there was many or at any Icelanders in those skirmishes. I think the only one in both. But yeah, it felt like that deck felt kind of like my deck, Yeah,
because you were just throwing Frostfang pummels on other people's turn. It was fucking
and then
wild.
like Stormstriders, into my Blazing Ethers, into a blue from Arsenal, into Snapback at the end. Because I would pitch stack.
Wild.
That was the first time I was learning how to pitch stack. And in Blitz, it's a lot easier to pitch stack when you're playing slow and you get to your second cycle a lot faster.
Yep.
But yeah, my overall experience with Iyslander has been positive. I've always loved the deck. I love the gameplay of truly countering your opponent, or I would say this game's version of countering.
Yeah.
But I'll stop ranting now.
My experience with Iyslander has been, I mean, not bad, but not good. I never played her. I never hated her as a deck. I always thought she was a very interesting
You and I
deck.
have had some crazy battles.
Yeah.
You and Dorian.
I would say that's probably like my moment with Iyslander is just you always playing your Iyslander, me playing Dorian. Our games always went down neck and neck every time. It was either I caught you with your pants down without an arsenal, or you caught me with the Channel Lake Frigid with your combo. It always good times, always fun games. But no, I wish I played Iyslander. Honestly, I had the thought. I had every piece for her. There's no reason not to. But
I think the deck really teaches you Fab math.
It does,
and
100%.
Like learning how to find the best value in every turn cycle.
And when Michael Hamilton pretty much broke that whole deck down and showed everybody that it doesn't need to be just ice combo and that it can be this mix of attack and doing your combo turns, setting up a bigger combo to have
the wounded bulls, you mean?
Yeah, just throwing a wounded bull while getting a frost hex out on other players' turns, setting up, blocking, and then just retaining that life throughout the whole game is the smartest thing you can ever do. Especially being able to play all those from Arsenal.
Yeah, anytime you sat down against a good Iyslander player, it was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Felt behind from the start.
I hated every time I had to sit across from you. But at the same time, they were great matches. And it's just, I'm glad that Icelander's gone because it opens up the field for so many more decks to be able to just go.
I think they'll look back at Iyslander and try to learn from the mistakes of, I know I'm not really one to believe that card games are meant for everyone to be having fun. Of course, everyone has fun playing them, but when people when companies ban cards because they are unfun to play against, it's like, what are we talking about here? Yeah. But Iyslander is very unfun to play against. Yeah. One of the most unfun decks, the most unfun deck to play against.
True.
Minus Assassins, maybe.
Oldhim. Oldhim was a rough matchup half the time.
But so Oldhim just blocked, though.
I know. That's what was lame, because he's just blocking and doing stuff and then
do
just...
that. I'm saying,
not as well.
Iyslander will rip your hand apart.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Oldham's just letting you do your thing and then going, haha, that was it. That's all. That's all you did, where Iyslander just says you don't get to have your hand, But...
Or if you want your hand, you have to keep your full grip and use every single fucking card and take
Right.
all the
and then
damage
not have an
that
arsenal because you had to pay all this extra resource. And
Yep.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think all experiences and all were fun, good, no terrible times. Thought it was a good deck at the time, but now we look back at it for like power wise, and you just see that all those talented heroes were just so much stronger.
When they give us another ice wizard or whatever to
Fill in the
because
void.
they don't want these card pools sitting stagnant. Know, right now ice wizard cards are not legal in any format.
No.
So
Neither.
I mean, that
none
sucks.
of the elemental.
That sucks.
Not one elemental card is legal except Lexi.
Ice, I guess Lexi and Blitz.
Lexi and Blitz. But how many people are actually playing those cards?
That's true. But yeah, I think when they design another one, it will be pulled back a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not casting them on your opponent's turn type of thing, or I don't know if you can make like a main phase wizard. That
I feel like
really
that's
make
what
much
Wizard
sense, but
kind of has to do, though. You
Yeah.
know, I feel like you
a
need
lot of
that
good
in
Kano
a
players.
card game.
Yeah, will just cast stuff on their own turn when
There
they
you go,
can.
Bailey. Go to Kano. Just start fucking whipping Kano out every fucking armory. Just start just blazing Aether and fucking go off. But
Cliff, any thoughts on Icelander before we move on?
So I did have a Blitz Icelander deck that I did like playing. She was a lot of fun to mess around with. One of my favorite Flesh and Blood games was actually the draft Icelander game that you and me played, Ty. Where like when we finally died, we were both on one. Couldn't even remember whose fucking turn it was. And we had like I fired something off, and then you Oasis respited and shot something back, and then I Oasis respited
Yep.
and Waning Moon.
I actually remember that.
And you ended up killing me with the, is it Rewind that blocks like 2 arcane and then deals 1?
no, that's Nig.
I don't know the name of the
Might
card.
be Rewind. You are right.
I can't remember. I can't remember what the name of that card was, but you got me with that. I was just sitting there, and then we both looked up, and I just went, "Well, fuck."
No, you really get to. It feels a little bit like Magic when you play Icelander. I would say if you guys are familiar with like some of the stacks and some of the instant responding to against a blue player. Yeah. Is Cliff's a blue player? Isn't he?
No.
Are you?
Talk to Bailey Hilton.
Bailey's a blue
Mystics
player?
man, dude.
Bailey is full on. I'm gonna combo blue and red spells and storm. That was Bailey's thing. His commander deck that had the most juice was I think it was Niv Mizzet.
Nice. Dude, we have to fucking play Magic. I can't believe you like next time you're down, Cliff, we have to play at least the commander game. Or I'm sure you guys don't have modern decks or anything. But
No, hell no. I only got commander decks. I got my
That's like-
tribal elf deck over there that can fill the board with elves, and that's about that.
The thrill.
Oh, sorry. We'll get back to Fab. We always do that. But.
Well, since Icelander's gone, do we think that Heavy Hitters is going to bring kind of a control-y Guardian going into Heavy
I
Hitters?
really
here?
hope we get that Mangle Guardian.
You think we will?
I hope.
That would be sweet.
I mean, I hope that guy seems awesome.
I still think Adult Valda is gonna be the Guardian.
So somebody brought up like, because they had like Brevenant as like a thing on Twitter. I saw they're like, I really hope Brevenant isn't like the new Guardian hero. That'd be really lame. And then James White commented, "Don't worry, he's still doing civil duties out in the round table. No need to worry." And I was like, yes.
Oh, that is
Let's go, James. Let's go.
Dude. We should say, kind of moving into our little heavy hitter segment here. I think even last week it was confirmed. We just kind of missed it in the news. There is a confirmed 6 heroes.
Yes, and three
classes.
3 classes.
So we'll get
For some reason, there better be an adult data doll in the fucking pits for whatever fucking reason. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
But they've already confirmed the classes.
I
unless they give us
love
that.
I
in the
love how
expansion
everybody
slot.
else that's not a Kasai main and Blitz, like a Data Doll or Benji or like, I mean, everyone
all
is
up in arms
fucking
right now.
pissed. They're like, what the fuck? We had a set where Benji could be a Data Doll, and everybody's just freaking the fuck out. And Warrior players are sitting over here just chilling. We're having our time. But no, so with the 6 heroes in the 3 classes, they also confirmed that it's UPF draft format.
So I do want to shout out one of our listeners actually for this, because he was the one that brought this to our attention, and he is from Singapore, which is pretty damn cool.
Yes.
Like, I was kind of doing my, early morning routine, and I look at my phone, and I got a guy asking us a question in the Discord. I'm like, what the hell? This is awesome. From a different country. It was pretty cool. But he brought it to our attention that there is going to be an Ultimate Pit Fight booster draft format for this set, where a pot of 8 will have 2 games going. It'll be four players playing against each other in the arena. Feels very arena-like. I actually love that. I think that this is going to be a very good thing for the game. I think that this is kind of also our first maybe dipping our toes into the waters of like
PvE almost.
A little bit, kind of giving us the Commander feel, not to talk about Commander so much, but that bringing people together type of kitchen table feeling. Because I mean, Fab isn't necessarily a kitchen table type of game.
It's a big one-on-one.
And it's very competitive. I mean, that's one thing about Fab that actually I love. It's one thing I love most about it is how competitive and complex the game is. But that is also a drawback in some ways to just getting new players into the game. But Ovaltine, I don't think I said his name. Great name, by the way. Ovaltine is the one who posted this photo of the UPF thing. And also, the winners of both pods will then play in a head-to-head. So it's a one-on-one at the end of the first game. So there's like an Ultimate Pit Fight version thing going on, and then
which is interesting. Do you think they're going to start having some like sanctioned events potentially around this? I think it could draw more players in. Hopefully,
those armor pieces we were talking about last week with the conditional
that were bad.
Yeah, we said we're bad.
They're good.
They're good.
They're great.
Really good.
Yeah, they're good.
Very strong.
If you're playing in a normal draft, they're all right. You get the one block, but
they get weaker if you win your pod and have to play the head-to-head.
When you got an equipment that blocks 3
in draft or sealed,
I mean, could block 3, I should say. Fantastic, fantastic,
absolutely.
But I'm very excited for this to try this out. I think we're gonna have to try to get get an event going right away at our shop.
So we definitely are going to do it. And then we also are going to try and plan a team sealed for heavy hitters, because the 6 heroes we were going to maybe do it in bright lights, but with heavy hitters kind of right around the corner, we're going to try to plan the team sealed for.
I feel like we should try to promote that more.
I 100%, way more than the first time, because the first time, I mean, I actually did promote it the first time. We just didn't get any traction really with it.
Because the shop can fit like a good amount of people, but Steve's always been always open to the option of going over to the community center and having that whole area filled out with tables, so then we could actually get like a big Minneapolis almost type of team sealed event here.
I would love that. If we did it that way, though, we would have to do like a team sign up, because we were thinking if we just did it in shop and it was all the locals, it sucks trying to pick teams. It sucks so hard, it's really, picking teams and delegating really the last tournament. So I mean, you just don't want favoritism. You don't want to try to clicky, and you don't want people to be left out and stuff. There's none of that. But there's that comes with if you
part of team.
It's part of team seal. And when we're all friends, it's like, fuck, what do you do?
Yeah.
So we were thinking, just do random teams. Just pick a name. These 3 are on a team. These 3 are on a team. Easy.
That's easy.
If we did it where we were promoting it and we want people to come, we would probably have to just build our teams and enter that way.
Well, for you listeners in Minnesota around the cities, if you want to give us some feedback on that, if you'd be interested in that, let us know, because we could get something set up going. Steve typically is really good about prize support too. I think he'd probably give away some banners, some bigger banners and stuff like that. Boxes, yeah. And we got plenty of extra boxes that we could also potentially throw towards.
And let us know too, if you guys are listening and a part of the Minnesota area, if the random thing would work better for you, or if you think signing up with your friends or teammates would be better. I'm thinking that's probably the route. And if you're maybe you and a buddy have don't have a third, then come to me and
we can fill in.
Yeah, just message me and we'll try to work it out where we can fill those spots in. And if we don't and have a team that has 2 spots, I believe you still can do it. You would just have to win both games to win the match. Like if one of you lost, you just lose the match.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you don't have a third to. So
It'd be a
basically,
bye.
your third
Is a bye.
Gives one of their teammates an automatic win. So then you would have to win both of your games every round.
Yeah.
So there is a way to do it if we have odd number.
But no, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to. And I think it would be fun for the community even. I mean, we haven't had that in Minneapolis really. I mean, we've gotten one Battle Hardened here and no other bigger events. So
Yeah, last time we did Team Sealed, it was in TOA.
Yeah.
It was such a fun time.
It was.
It was a great time.
Why not BDE throw a big event out there for everybody to come play? It'd be fun. But leading into heavy hitters, we got a couple spoilers.
You want to
Some good ones.
You want to crack into this one now, Cliff? I know you've been just chomping at the bit.
Cliff, you want to go for... never mind. You already...
He knows the
Are you guys letting me? Are you guys letting me?
Well, we're not
take
Arachne
the,
players.
Take it.
Wait, do you play
I
Arachne?
dabble in them
Oh,
sometimes.
okay.
I'm the one that got
That's
put
right.
into
Assassins.
Arachne. I
Give
do.
me the line, Todd.
But I want to play
Give me
them.
the
If you
line,
can't beat
Todd.
them, join them, right?
Pull that shit up, Cliff.
Alrighty, so we have finally gotten something I believe all Arachne players have been waiting for,
And Cheyenne.
and that is
Cheyenne. Although I just
fuck
read
off,
it. It's not
Cheyenne.
good, Cheyenne.
We have gotten a absolutely playable.
Doesn't matter. You still get to banish a
specialization.
top card, and you get to go through their deck.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cliff. I'm sorry. I was ranting to Ty about why it's still good in
Hey,
Cheyenne.
pipe down back
I'm
there.
sorry, I'm
Hey,
sorry,
We
I'm
got
sorry.
we got backseat talking going on here
I'm
when
sorry.
I'm trying to review an Arachne specialization. God
Yeah,
damn.
that is true.
Bunch of backseat
Who
drivers.
I know.
invited that guy, huh?
Hey,
Alrighty.
hey, I'm
Cosman
steering
has
this
coercive
recording
tendency.
right now, buddy.
I'll show you a tendency, Josh.
Okay, sorry.
Anyways, Arachne specialization. Coercive tendency. It is a blue pitch, 0 cost, 3 block, like most assassin cards. And it is a attack reaction. So, looking at the text, it reads, look at the top 3 cards of the defending hero's deck, put them back in any order, then banish the top card of the deck. If you complete a contract this way, your assassin attacks get go again, this combat chain. I know that me and Josh have said on the podcast before, we love playing with the card even bigger than that in our assassins, just a nice little sneaky and sly thing you can get done. This card eliminates the need to do any such shenanigans.
Mhm.
True. Just allows you to go absolutely wide on a turn if you complete that contract. And being able to look at the top 3 cards and manipulate them to complete the contract
So
is great.
Huge.
yeah. So a few things on this card. The unconditional banish I think is freaking huge.
Oh, amazing.
When I first read this card though, I didn't even realize it was a reaction until Cliff just said it was a reaction.
Yeah.
So I figured that this card is definitely like good and what Arachne needed. This type of design is awesome. But I thought it was always face up, where the opponent would now like know, oh, I have to block this to prevent it from having go again. But
This being
it's
a
a
sneak-
reaction.
This being a sneak
You
card?
never know which card they're going to play it on. You can never basically at that point never let any card hit, or you just have less information, and this card becomes
Especially
much
since we've got,
better.
We just got the Freddy Krueger clause, so they can activate that if you block with an attack action and just remove a defense for it.
Yep.
We've got the new dead already, and
Already
I
dead.
was thinking about this. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. The new wager mechanics. It becomes pretty freaking easy for Arachne to go, all right, I'm gonna wager a gold token that my attack hits this turn. And then he just fucking shreds whatever you block with.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, man, with assassins is when you try to block them,
They just fuck you.
fucking shred it
They go,
anyways, or they pump it,
"Nah."
or or they play this now,
No,
Yeah.
and then I suppose if you
And,
block and they play this, it's not effective. But it's when you let
I
something hit
do-
and then they play this, right? Because
Yep.
then it gets go again. You get the
Yep.
fucking get the contract, blah blah blah.
See, this
I
is
do
even a
want
card that you
to
throw
bring up
first.
Another
This is a card that you even throw first, because when they go for the defense reaction, you then still have your shred, and you can shred their defense reaction.
Sure.
And then, like, their sync blows for nothing. And it still hits, goes
Yeah.
through, you get to banish 2 cards because the card hit, and then you get to complete a different contract on top of the
Well,
banish.
that's the beautiful thing about this card is The Black Tech Whisperers, the legs for assassins, that has a condition to give go again, and that's on hit.
Yep.
So if you attack reaction to pop that, and then they sink like double defense reaction, you don't get go again. This card, it doesn't need to hit. It just banishes the top card,
Yeah.
and then you can get go again off of it.
So
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, and then they're wasting double defense reaction even off of that.
Mm-hmm.
doesn't it have
No,
to? So just the contract has to be completed.
So
Just
so
the
technically,
contract has to
when
be
you banish
completed.
this completes the contract of the card that's on the chain link,
And
then
anyone
on top
before
of,
it.
Yeah, and anyone before it, and the one that like even it still hasn't hit yet, so it still has to go through. You're still in reaction phase, so you still get to Mask of Perdition.
Dude.
You get to banish so many cards out of their hand or out of their deck. It's unreal.
Like, do I think this makes Arachne viable? Probably not, but this is definitely like going to be reason enough for players to give Arachne a second look. Like,
Yes.
for sure. This is the type of card that is powerful enough. Like, it's not tome.
This is a strong
This
card.
isn't. This is
a
yes,
really strong
it is.
card.
And I was just about to compare it to tome, but I don't want to like make that mistake, and because I think tome is like egregious as fuck. But this card could be like on that kind of same power level where they really kind of power crept this card.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. My question is: this card a power creep card?
I would say a 100% yes.
It has
but
to be,
but
right?
in decks like Arachne, you need that.
Yeah.
Azalea needed codex.
Needed help.
You know,
They need help.
Yes.
And
yes.
you need a power crep card to be able to help them. Some of those ones that are down at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I think this card might be a bit much.
it's good.
I think that giving all assassin attacks go again, that combat chain, is a bit much. That I don't know. There is a lot of disgusting stuff that it opens the door for, especially like I was saying. The other card I want to give a shout out with the coercive tendency being released is the new dagger that we've gotten for assassin.
Yes. There's one thing I want to touch on.
Raven Call.
Hold on. There's one thing I want to touch on. Core of or whatever, right? Tendency.
Coercive tendency.
Yeah. Why? So the arms in it. I'm surprised it's supposed to be an assassin card and they don't have like the shriek razors or like the flick knives because those aren't flick knives. Those aren't shriek razors.
Aren't those?
The hand.
Aren't those?
No, I don't know. Shriek razors have like straight blades and it looks
Freddy
like Freddy Krueger. There's no metal or like armor around it,
Oh.
which is weird. Why?
So who?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the guy making the art. I over
I bet
speculate
it's still
some things.
just,
Yeah,
it's Arachne. I mean,
I over speculate.
he just
too
took
many
his glove.
things.
He's just wearing a different brand of gloves. Okay.
Yeah. Well, with the dagger that Cliff mentioned, Graven Call, it's a one-handed dagger, attacks for 1. Once per turn action, pay 2, attack, go again. Obviously has the piercing 1 like every other dagger. But it has instant destroy 2 silver you control. Equip this with a +1 counter. Activate this ability only while this is in your graveyard.
Thoughts, Cliff?
My immediate thoughts are yes. This is nice. However,
Yes.
the one thing that troubles me a bit about the card is one of the reasons the other daggers are so great is it's just 1 damage, but they've got that nasty malicious on hit effect.
Yes.
Where they're like, okay, your defense reactions block from 1 less, or your next 2 attack actions have 1 less defense. That's part of the reason why the daggers are very viable in Arachne. And Azuri to an extent. I'm not quite sure how many blues you're running in Azuri, but for Arachne, I've got a lot of blues in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I want to try to swing my daggers minimum once per turn, depending on how many attack action cards I'd be able to throw.
Mm-hmm.
Some turns it's just dagger, and then you throw your attack with, like, you throw your surgical. So their defense reactions have less block, and their attack action cards have less block. They've got a surgical or a leave no witness staring at them, and I've still got a card in hand. That feels bad. That's a bad situation.
That's true. And most of the time that's a free reaction or like a pump where you have an extra resource floating after throwing those attacks. Right?
For if I'm doing dagger surgical, most likely I've either just got a shred or just like one of the free buffs the cut to the chase or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you run any of like the spike with blood rot attack reactions or anything, Cliff?
Those only target stealth cards.
That's right.
so
That's right.
no.
That's right. That's right.
What would you say this dagger? You know how like every dagger kind of has its own utility, right? It's like geared towards
Yeah.
certain play styles or cards or whatever. What do you think?
I
What do you think this is trying to
Carter
fight?
nailed it on the head. I think Carter nailed it on the head when he said for like dealing with allies, auras, and stuff like that.
Yep.
Especially considering that we saw the swords coming in with 2 health, we now have a dagger that can get to 2 damage.
That's true.
Especially, you have to, in order to actually utilize it, you'd have to run. Yeah, how would you get the dagger back out of graveyard? Does it just say on
it's the
card you can pay
instant.
for
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You destroy 2 silver, but how do you get it in the
Okay.
It
graveyard
kind of
first
forces
off?
you. It forces you to play flick knives.
Flick
Well,
knives
you
or
have
hurl,
to use hurl or
Hurl.
flick knives.
Oh right, Hurl can do it.
because it's still an attack, and then you pay one resource for it, and then it hurls the dagger.
So maybe that allows you to play other gloves if you want. If you
Yeah.
play the Hurls,
Then you
Okay.
still can run your shriek
I
razors.
think you still play flick knives though with this card. Just dude.
If you're using
feel like
Graven, you
Shriek.
probably do the
but-
flick knives.
Well, you don't want to have to be waiting for the Hurl to see the Hurl if they start applying a board and you're
That's
like,
true.
fuck, like I need to do something about this now. Like
It
flick knives just lets you like.
It does only get the +1 if you pay the 2 silver from graveyard.
That's
Never-
another thing too. So it is a little bit more conditional than I think we are initially thinking because yeah, the 2 silver is not nothing.
No, because that's covering
have-
up your Mask of
you
Perdition,
have to have
your
hit
Shriek
twice or
razors,
something, yeah.
or your Black Tex, or your Redback Shrouds if you run Redback Shroud. So it's like, would you rather
I really,
would you rather call in a dagger to take out 1 Centauri Sellsword, or would you rather go again on your attack? So then you can just take one
Well,
out with a smaller
here's
attack
the,
and then big. I don't know.
Here's my take on it, boys. Because you flick knives at turn 1, you break the dagger. Whoop-de-fucking-do, right?
Yep.
You get it back, you get that +2, and then the next time you flick it, it's 2 damage.
Yeah.
And that's just a dagger that you can buy back. You don't need to equip it from like anything using the whatever card it is that pulls the daggers from your sideboard or equipment slots. This one you can just buy back right out of the graveyard, just like any of the other equipment, and you can keep flicking it for 2 damage as long as you can keep buying it back.
True.
So pretty much every turn, you should be able to throw a dagger for 2 damage.
Yeah.
On top of your other attacks.
That is true. Now, one other thing I wanted to bring up about the weapons, because Nathan brought this to my attention, which I completely forgot about. Old Kasai, not adult Kasai, old Kasai.
Mm-hmm.
Her signature weapon is what?
Centauri sabers.
So when she LLs,
Yeah, she will lose it, but that's only a blitz.
yeah, but why is Centauri Saber with Kasai in the new
Well,
set?
it's her signature weapon. It'd be like it's like when they gave Kodachis to
So
Katsu.
so would it still be viable in Blitz with this Kasai? Because then what else? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would guess. Well,
you see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
actually, I don't know. They'll have to answer that. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
You see what I mean? Though?
It'll be-
when he
it'll be
brought
safe
that-
in CC.
think-
Yeah, automatically
you'll
safe
be
in
aight.
CC. But because now they're Kasai of the Golden Sands signature weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But that was what brought to my attention was I was so confused for a second because I was like, how does that work?
Scratch your head.
I'm like, well, but I don't know. I'm very excited for heavy hitters. I'm excited to see now that we're seeing some more UPF draft type things. Very excited for that, to be honest. I want to see how that goes. We get a little taste of some PvE almost, I feel like, with it. But
Did you guys see, before we kind of move on from spoilers, I think we're kind of at our hour mark here. We can get into questions here soon. Did you see there's going to be a legendary Azalea specialization?
that was also supposed to be spoiled by Go Again Gaming, if I'm correct, right?
I think so.
Um,
It said December 6th, I think.
what's your your
Dude,
thoughts?
I don't know. It makes me think...
A one-of.
Are
a
they
one-of in
yep.
the deck.
So either it's going to be like all these one-of legendary specializations recently have been transforming into demi-heroes.
Yep.
I don't necessarily think I would want an Azalea demi-hero.
She can't be. She can't
Well,
be.
her hero ability is fine and it functions. She just needs things that increase her consistency. I was kind of going through it actually last
if it's
night.
if it's a super scary arrow,
No.
you're just gonna be able to memorial ground and all that.
Tie.
What's up?
I thought about like the demi hero thing that you're thinking of. I'm like, okay, what would be like viable? And I came up with some ideas that weren't great, but I actually did come up with a really good idea for a demi hero for Azalea.
Let's hear it.
So, what is one of the staple attacks in Azalea that's not an arrow?
Ravenous. Ravenous Rabble.
Imagine a demi hero that was just you can make it a 3 power or 4 power, but when you attack, it has the same text as Ravenous Rabble, but it's an ally.
It just lets you opt one every time?
What if the demi hero isn't even Azalea? What if it's like an ally?
I think it's not a demi hero.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying. If it would be an ally, that'd be a
cool.
really good ally for Azalea. I don't think it'd be like crazy strong, but it would provide that little nitrous boost that she kind of needs.
I think
here's my worry is since it's a legendary specialization, if it's an arrow and you're just able to memorial ground it like Azalea does with her red in the ledgers, that's just a extra 1 card that we have to sit here and worry about the entire time.
So I think if it's an arrow, yeah, like you said, you get to, I mean, she has so many tutors that a legendary specialization arrow kind of, that keyword doesn't matter to her because then with the codexes you'd be able to recur it.
Like honestly, red in the ledger should be a legendary specialization almost, dude. Like I'm serious. That card's disgusting.
I know. I think without that card you just don't play Azalea. She's so bad without that card.
True. I mean that's her main goal.
But I think if you make it an arrow, it has to have a lot of like text that prevent things from happening. I think it has to be like a big. Maybe you make it. I was kind of going through this. Here'd be like a perfect arrow for me. I'm not a game designer by any means, but if you make like a 3-cost arrow, it attacks for 6 or greater. So we actually have another popper that's an arrow.
That's not
a battering bolt.
Yeah, battering bolt. Yeah.
So you make it like 3 costs, make it attack for 8. You make it have natural go again, and you make it where, I mean, maybe it's unconditional, or maybe when it hits, you put the top card of your deck face down into your arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a heat seeker type effect, but it will have the natural go again. And then when it like the chain closes, you banish it, so you don't get to recur it, you don't get to codex it. So it's just a one time. You start your turn with a bunch of pumps. You play that bitch for 3.
Yep.
You come in for whatever bunch, and then you get that free card off the top. And then if you go face down with it and you haven't activated cross wrap, then that lets you maybe out of the if you have the pump that goes into arsenal afterwards. So then I can kind of like. But I was thinking of just ways to make an arrow that's a legendary specialization.
I don't think it can be action. It can't be a legendary action.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about it like a non-attack action.
It can't be, right? There's no way they'd make a legendary non-attack action.
I don't necessarily. I just the demi hero thing scares me because then like I don't know. It just messes with the core of the deck. I'm sure like all the demi heroes kind of did, or not the core. They just the play style drastically changes.
Yes.
I just love the way she plays right now.
Yeah,
she's humming for me.
I'm excited for her.
Carter and I played a game before the Blitz Armory, and we both went to 1, and it was just like. Dude, it was. I had the bullseye bracers back, and I won the game off of them.
Yep.
With the, I think I just loaded like a remorseless. I had like a 2-card hand too, and it was like with the tunic counter.
So you're able to pay for it and just get off a pump.
I had the Rain Razors, I think, in Arsenal with like plus 2 cards, and I dealt like over 14 in like three cards or whatever. Shit. It was fucking. And the bullseyes are just nuts.
And it's scary whenever you're playing Azalea too, and you go down to 3 life. That is the scariest life total that you can be at. Just because if they pump up twice and then throw an arrow dominated, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. God, I've been really racking my brain over this legendary specialization. That legendary keyword makes me think it's a demi hero. Because how do you make it an arrow? I don't know. It would have to have go again.
Yeah.
We need some go again arrows. But then the issue, like with a Sikkim shot, is you've usually already activated your bow.
Yep.
And I was thinking, maybe you let your bow activate twice. But then Nathan said in the Discord, well, we already have tri-shot. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I don't play that card, so.
It's like Tri-Shot and Rapid Fire are kind of two weird cards that you don't really use.
There's a sweet combo against Fatigue that you do with Tri-Shot and Perch Grapplers. Where
really?
you get to like activate the perches, and if you pitch stack well enough, you can play your Tri-Shot. So then all your face-up arrows have go again, and then you get to like activate your bow over and over and
Twice,
over and over.
yeah.
Well, no,
3 times. Yeah, as many times
and
as
then
you
they
can.
all have go again because of Perch, right?
Because of
So
Perch.
then you can like Lexi them at the end of the game and shoot 4 arrows against it. It's like a anti-fatigue plan.
It's something that I've thought about playing in Riptide just because why the hell not? I've been trying to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been keeping an eye out for that Tri-Shot mat for you.
But yeah,
I need a mat with 2 arsenals.
Yeah, that's the Tri-Shot one. Or the lighted up, I guess.
I'd rather have Tri-Shot.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Makes more sense.
All right, boys, you want to get into the questions?
Yeah, let's lead into some questions here. What does the community got for us, huh?
Well, Sean asked...
Oh, shit, I forgot about this question.
Well, so, I mean, we kind of talked about this a bunch. I think a lot of people do. And this is kind of a common theme in the shop talk of Fab, I would say. He asked, if you had to create a new class, what would it be? And he's saying outside of any of the current classes that they've revealed...
As like an alchemist, necromancer,
all that stuff that we know is coming.
Yep.
He's saying brand new class, go.
I think I've already, for me at least, I've expressed my love for a gladiator or pirate class. And like the pirate dealing with like you said, almost like stealing types of things, or like doing something along the lines where gold, copper, and silver are gonna be more entwined into the game. It does make sense with like mechs in the game with items. They snatch an item. They can snatch gold or any items on the field. E-pots from wizards. Like, I think that'd be a pretty cool mechanic.
Yeah,
but
like you'd have to build the thieving thing, like trying to steal cards. I would love that.
Oh, if you could even steal an attack card out of their
steal
thing.
the top card of their deck.
Like some cards have that ability where you can just play the other person's attack if you get it right.
Yeah.
I can't name them off the top of my head right now, but I know there's like 3 or 4 of them that allow that, don't they?
I actually don't even know. There's an
assassin card. Assassin one?
Infiltrate. That's the only one I know of.
I thought there was one more. Isn't there like the alluring inducement, the new one?
Oh, that's the Shiana.
Yeah.
But you reveal their hand and you get to pick a card.
Pick a card,
that.
And then
so that's kind of like this, like a stealing.
Well,
I mean, actually,
that'd be cool.
Randomly discard a card, or your opponent randomly banishes a card, and then you get to use it that turn.
That'd be amazing.
Dude,
that'd be so much fun. But no, that would be kind of my design space if I were to create a hero.
Love it. Cliff, what about you? Have you thought about this question at all?
So, yeah, I've actually got one that once I thought of it and kind of ran with it a bit, I was like, oh, this would be so fucking cool. So it is kind of similar to a class that we already have. The class that I came up with was a druid.
Which would be cool.
Hell yes.
And what I was thinking is that on the actual ability of the card, you pitch or do something and you swap what animal form you're in.
Right.
So... You'd have like bird for, at first I was like, bird for go again, bear for attack power, and then like wolf or something.
I wouldn't even,
bear would be the tank.
Yeah, I was about to say bear would be like
the tank, wolf would be the attack,
bird
would be
if you were bear form.
Hang on.
If you were hold on.
Josh is telling Cliff his
hold
design.
On.
Mark. I just, after you asked that question, I was thinking about it a bit. And I was like, want to know what would be like? It'd probably be really good. But what would be really fucking cool? Is if it was an elemental druid. And then if you shifted to hawk, you'd be able to use lightning that turn. Bear, you'd be able to use earth. And then wolf, you'd be able to use ice.
That'd be pretty
So then you'd have the ability to play those cards, but you'd have to have it line up in hand. That would like work best for that.
So kind of like a Starvo type thing
form.
Almost, where it's like you get the essence of all of them.
It'd be a lot less consistent.
Yeah.
Would love a druid.
I think that
coming from World of Warcraft,
just swapping,
man.
Swapping into different animals to attack. I think that'd be. So
my
cool.
thoughts were like not even just that, Cliff. It would just be like Ty was saying, like the bear's a tank, right? So if you're in bear form when on the opponent's turn, their attacks come in for 1 less damage. Every attack that attacks you.
Something
If
like
you're
that.
in wolf form, you get a benefit of like +1 damage on every attack that you throw. If you're in like bird form, you
They
can
can go again or something.
gain go again. Yeah, something like that. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think something like that would be super cool.
I do like your essence idea though, because then it's bringing a whole card pool back to life with just 1 hero, which would be awesome.
Mine is kind of, I think I've said this before, but it's also like you can kind of just think of it as there already sort of is a class in the game that's like this, but I really would love a paladin, some sort of warrior or warrior-like class that has auras. Maybe you combine like the prism aura feel with like an actual attacker.
To get a cleric.
Yeah, but again, I think the question was to try not to pick one that has been confirmed. But a paladin feels just like a light warrior to me. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a lame
Bolton.
pick, but
I'd almost say paladin's almost more like a fucking mix between warrior and guardian, where they're just like a chonky warrior.
I
like,
suppose you're right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're a warrior that like wears the plate armor. They're
Yeah.
kind of the big fucking.
they do stronger attacks, but not like as quickly.
Maybe they
you
can
know?
go again, but they block more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love a paladin though. It'd be sick. We have another question from Sleepy Wolf. Shout out to Tanner. He went 4-0 in our Blitz Armory.
Yes, sir.
It's been a while since he won a cold foil, and yeah, he was just talking a few weeks ago about not knowing what deck to use and this and that, and he shows up with Lexi and stomps us. So GG's, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah, I remember he walked into the armory just tired as shit, and he looks at me and goes, "I'm tired. Let's play this." Just fucking kicked my ass
Yeah.
while he's tired as shit.
But he asks, why does Blitz seem to be the more unpopular choice in formats? Personally, I enjoy Blitz for more than CC. Curious what you all think. This is a good question. This is a very
Controversial.
well, it is, I guess. I feel like the majority of the community hates Blitz, and I just think that they're all a bunch of whiners.
Yeah.
No, I do. It annoys
That's
me.
exactly what I was going to say.
It annoys me so fucking much when
Well,
people just like complain about
variance.
Blitz. Dude,
pisses me off, I agree.
we are playing flesh and blood at the end of the day. We are getting together. We are sitting down from across from our opponents, and we are playing the game. Nothing changes about the game. You are playing the same game. People say it's a different game. I think I've even said in the past, it's a different game. No, it's flesh and blood.
Just different heroes that have
You get to
cooler
have like
abilities.
the amount of heroes you play. First of all, is more in Blitz.
Yes.
So
I think a whole 12 more.
it's a lot. We counted the one time. I will say I understand why people probably don't like it as much. You have less say in the games. The variants are a little higher in Blitz.
Just tell me you're bad at building a deck. That's all I got to say to people who hate Blitz.
Well, it's not even that. And like we brought up on the pod several times, like for like helping listeners, right? As in you guys, like for the new players, build a Blitz deck first to lead into CC because it helps you learn the combos that are in a deck. It
You have
helps
to
you
play
learn
quicker games too.
Yeah,
it's almost like it's way more casual to me. And people say it's a little more competitive, or not competitive. It's faster. You can combo off
and it's
quicker.
It's not even like
But the games are faster. It's
they say, oh, if you make one slight mistake, the game's over. Yeah, so what? Play another game.
Exactly.
Pretty similar to CC. Yeah, you got the bigger health pool, but for the most part, when you lose a game, you can trace it back to a decision you made.
Exactly. And with CC, dude, honestly, the difference a lot of times is that like there's a few turns that happen that bring you guys both down to sub 20, and then now you're playing Blitz.
Yeah.
Like that's I mean,
Like right away because you don't care about your life in the
exactly.
beginning anyways.
It's like you're setting up those first few
So
turns.
you're just
pitch
playing.
stacking.
You're just playing Blitz with a bigger deck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we really answered the question. It sounds like we kind of did, but I love Blitz for the fact that you get to play different heroes. I think it's a little more casual. You can turn your brain off a little more. You're dealing with definitely like crazier things. I kind of liken it to if you come from Magic, if you've ever played like Standard, where you're playing 5 and 6 drops and 7 drops and these
Turn
crazy.
two, you're gone.
Well, so in Blitz, it's almost like the modern version where
Yeah.
you're dead in turn 2 or 3. It's like a combo kill off Kano or something. And then in CC, it's a little more like Standard where you're playing a longer game. You're playing your fucking
Which is
till turn
baffling
10,
because
15.
I'm not bashing on this aspect of like community coming up with Clash. It helps with like the variance, so you can't have as many bigger combos and you're not dead within turn 2. But at the same time, like, Blitz is Blitz. You don't get to use the cool equipment. You don't get to understand how the equipment works for CC. Like, I think Blitz is a great starting point in the game.
No, so do I, dude. Every time someone complains about it, I've never heard a good argument for it. It just feels like they just like to complain, you know, or just like a lot of people just naturally complain about everything nowadays.
And even it not being at Worlds this year was completely different. And like half those pro players were like, well, it's just a variance, and then it's an extra thing that we have to like practice for. It's in the game. It's part of the game. What are you talking about?
I actually didn't. I don't disagree with them taking it out of Worlds. You know, like that. I think that's fine. But I also don't think it's a bad format by any means. And I think that
more Blitz battle hardens. Come on, come on, please.
I think one of the big things that turn people away from Blitz is when it comes to CC. There's not a whole lot of variance in deck lists.
Yeah, you just have less agency.
You'll get little tweaks and all that stuff, but for the most part, every hero has what they want to do, and the decks are really going to emulate that.
Mm-hmm.
Blitz, you start getting into people are like, well, fuck, it's not a long game anyway. Let's see what we got.
Mm-hmm.
And you get maniacs like me who just start running wild with different ideas and deck lists.
Absolutely.
So... like the generic Briar that I had, that deck is super cool, and if you don't pay attention, it'll crush you. But like the last time I played Carter, he figured it out. I don't have a 3-block in that deck aside from my defense reactions.
Yeah.
So it's just, there's just little things that if you miss or don't quite pick up on, that you'll get got on.
Yep.
And it can be something as simple as they threw in a couple different cards that you've never seen in that deck.
Yep. And like I said, like you just have less say in Blitz. And I get where people are coming from with that complaint. But again, we're playing a card game at the end of the day. You don't have full say. This is a card game and there's
variance no matter what.
I mean, what are we doing here, guys?
You could get high rolled. That's variance.
Exactly.
I don't know
exactly.
I don't know what else to say.
But yeah, I think that's actually a good question because it makes Blitz players that like Blitz feel awkward when they hear people talk shit about Blitz all the time.
Especially like when some of the coolest heroes that they've made in the game are in Blitz
Exactly.
only. Like Benji, Kasai, Shiana, Datadol for Cliff, Valda for some of those Guardians out there. Like even Yoji.
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody bring up, what if we got Yoji in this set? Because in the lore, Emperor's dead. What's Yoji doing these days?
It's true.
Goes out to the arena and just starts fucking slaying out people.
Just pissed.
Yeah.
He failed. He failed as master.
He's got no reason to be anywhere else. So he just
guy.
wandered out into the
Wants
heavy
to go
hitter.
murder people?
Yeah. Why not?
If he is in this set as like a CC hero, they better give him a badass name, like Yoji the Unbroken or something.
I mean, he already
like
Yoji the Broken. He would be because he doesn't have his master anymore, so he would be broken, Cliff.
Yeah, he failed.
No,
he let little ass Arachne get in there.
He's not the royal protector anymore. He's Yoji the Broken.
Well, I could see it if maybe like Kasai, lore-wise, like ran off to the pits after the Emperor was dead and was like, I don't know, trying to find herself. So Yoji went to go serve her, seeing her as like.
That's somebody else did bring up that point too. Like Kasai was like, "Hey, fuck it, like let's go. You're with me now. Like, let's just go fucking run the world." Which could make sense.
He'd be Yoji the Unbroken because he still found his purpose.
I guess that makes sense because that's 2 heroes from Volcor that go into the set.
Would be cool.
Yep, it'd be really cool if we had another mech hero in this set for CC.
Shut up.
Cliff's got a whole fucking set with 3 mechs.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't get the one I wanted, damn it.
I'm still gonna complain.
Well, we have one other.
I'm going to.
We have one other question we can touch on, and then we can wrap it up, guys. Dylan asks, "Can the Living Legend format be sanctioned for armories? And if so, when can we have our first one?" The answer is they cannot.
What?
No, you cannot play a Living Legend right now at armories. I don't think you can.
That's because right now there's
on demand,
pretty much an auto.
Yeah, probably you could do like an on demand, or you just show up. Everyone just shows up early and plays. Jam some games. But
pre-armory.
When we can, we are absolutely playing some Living Legend in our shop. That is going to be a blast.
Soon.
Dust off the old Crown of Seeds.
Did somebody say? Yeah.
For my
Are you gonna play Starvo?
Fuck no. I was talking to you.
Oh yeah. I got the
No,
coal foil
I'll
one.
be on Prism for sure. I just told Sean. Sean's like, "What would I play? I don't have Starvo." I'm like, "Just bring Stubby's Fi.
Yeah, you can play whatever you want.
Yeah, you get the fuck."
And he's like, he just
Stubby's
literally
Fi with an
perked up.
Autovore.
Also, shout out Sean this morning, an absolute trooper. So we're recording on Sunday, and we started at 8:00, 7:30. We all got here at my house, and I look out the window looking for Tyler to show up, and I see Sean in his car outside my house.
What was he doing? Just peeping in your windows,
He
dude?
was just hanging out. He was gonna wait for you to show up. He told me, but I like jumped through like my mini window down here to see if you were here, and I saw him. I was like, oh shit, better go out there. Man brought us some donuts,
Hell yeah.
some glazed donuts for the crew. Shout out Sean. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, Sean's the best. But yeah, I think that wraps it up, guys. It's been a good episode.
Yeah,
We didn't really have much to talk about, but
a few spoilers.
yeah, I mean,
Icelander gone.
I guess yeah, that's pretty huge. The whole fucking format now is like
Open, wide open.
what happens.
Because the only talented heroes we have now that are here are still Fi, Dromai, and then you got the Monarch and Dust Till Dawn. But those heroes are kind of...
I think these next few battle hardens are going to be
We're
filled.
gonna see some wild shit.
I don't think it's gonna be
We're
that
gonna
wild.
see some
Well, no,
wild
it'll be
shit.
different in that we'll have like a different hero representation, but it'll be lots of ninjas, and I think it'll be some Dromais.
Mechs,
Maybe, yep.
Reinars, Bravos.
Well, I think Bravo comes back now.
yes.
Now
'Cause
Icelander's
Icelander's
gone.
gone.
Bravo has some shit.
I've
she's
made,
gonna
I've
bring
made
shit
a
to say.
decision, boys. I'm building a Moon's Wish, Sun's Kiss, Uzuri. Fuck you.
You are?
Josh, that felt like such a
You
like
are?
defeated. You are? No, please, God.
I told you, Riptide.
Nah, fam. Nah.
Fair enough.
We're gonna be a menace.
You'll have to
enough.
show us that deck. You got to come down soon. We're gonna come down for Christmas or something, Cliff. We're gonna have like a Christmas event and bring goodies, and we usually do a fun
here's
little
the-
thing on
here's the
Christmas.
thing.
Yeah, the Christmas
I
armory looks
already
sick
know.
too. Looks
I
good.
already know I'm not making it back for Christmas.
I got
I'm
my
working.
Oh, that sucks.
Cliff.
Well, you got to make it
Yeah,
down
I work
soon.
New-
I know it's
Christmas
a
Eve
fucking
and
drive for you,
Christmas.
buddy, but it's so good to see you and have you in studio.
Always a
Of
pleasure.
course, man. Of course.
I
Us
do want
volleyball
to
players are just the light of the world for Flesh and Blood.
get like you and Wes down. I do want us to do like the big team sealed when you guys are in town.
Oh, absolutely. You'll have to try to make it for that.
Yeah, we'll have to try to plan like a good time for you and Wes to make it down because that'd be fantastic. But why don't we?
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here,
All right.
boys.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If you made it this far to the end of our pod, we appreciate you guys listening. We are always on Spotify and Apple Music. I think a few other platforms too. I'm not sure. There's a few other ones out there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We don't know where the fuck we are.
Yeah.
We're out
To the
there.
executive
We're out there.
producer,
We out here.
he's the one
Find
getting
us.
We
out
out
there,
here.
so.
But join the Discord. We always love to talk to the listeners and give insight and have them tell us about their fab days because it's always interesting and brings joy to us. But we really appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys next week on episode 18. Peace.
See ya.
Till next time.